every single life matters.
Primary responsibility of government, first of all, which is security.
We bank mostly on intervention rather than prevention.
Democracy is a government where power resides with the people.
Hello and a very warm welcome to you. This is you.gov and it's all about you and all about the government. On the show, we talk about government functions, we talk about citizens' corresponding obligations. Yes, your role to your society, your duty to your society. You owe the duty of allegiance, first of all, to your nation. And of course, you owe that duty to be law-abiding and to actually do everything that will make your society great. I am Olomu-Agbodo. First, we're going on a quick break. When we return, we'll tell you what we're discussing this week. This week on Edubox, we are taking another look at the controversial Infectious Diseases Bill currently before Nigeria's National Assembly. The proposed legislation is meant to create a legal framework for the federal government to manage special circumstances surrounding infectious diseases outbreak, but activists said it is riddled with undemocratic provisions.
Only somebody who has not read this bill and the details properly will think of allowing it to go. And besides, the hurry with which it was being passed leaves a lot to be desired. Because things that are done in a hurry, they're either done very well or they are done very badly. Because Singapore was under dictatorship when this rule, because without a dictatorship, you cannot have this infectious disease bill passing. That is just one simple fact. And anybody who has picked it from there should have seen that the culture is different, the government is different, everything is different. You need a dictatorship to have such a draconian law guarding you. And why now, when Nigerians are bothered about their life and their livelihood, there are better times for us to look at these things quietly. When things return to, in quotes, normal. To rush it through at this time is very suspicious. In fact, it should not be amended. It should be completely dropped. Because to amend it is to rewrite it. To amend it to rewrite it. That's my own personal view. Having seen the details of the bill, as especially exposed at this press conference, for which I feel very happy and very grateful.
In respect of this bill, Control of Infectious Disease Bill 2020, my organization has done a legal analysis of the bill. So we have digested the bill. We have brought out sections of the bill that we believe and that we know is draconian and against the principles of human rights. And just like I mentioned earlier, there's section 13 in particular that says that the DG of NCDC can actually isolate any person, whether a minor or an adult, pick the person up, arrest him for suspecting to have an infectious disease and isolating such a person in an undisclosed area. We believe that even the Constitution, which is the ground norm, does not make such provision even in respect of persons who are suspected criminals, someone who has been suspected of committing an offense. So there is a provision on the number of hours that such a person can be detained. And this bill is actually making provision for, to detain someone who is suspected of having an infectious disease. This bill is draconian and it should be trashed. There is another section of the bill that provides that the health minister, the Minister of Health, can actually acquire a private property and turn such property into an isolation center. There are provisions in our law, already existing law, like the Land Use Act, that provides for when the government or its agency can acquire any property in Nigeria. And these are just one or two of the various draconian sections that this bill has actually tried, that the House is trying to pass into law. So what can be done to trash this bill, to ensure that this bill does not come into law, is number one, to attend the public hearing that is coming up on the 11th, 12th, and 13th of June, to ensure that this bill is trashed. And the only way this can be done is if people are aware of the public hearing that is coming up, people are aware of the provisions of the bill and also how it affects them. That when people know this, then they'll be able to follow up on the public hearing and ensure that the bill is trashed, not amended or reviewed, but disposed out of our client.
You're welcome back. Well, if you just joined us this week, we are taking a look at some interesting trending national issues. Recently, we talked about the infectious diseases bill that was passed very speedily at the House of Representatives, Nigeria's Green Chamber. And because of the outcries of the people, outcries of civil society organizations, that bill is going to be subjected to public hearing, public scrutiny. So you have another opportunity to lend your voice to stopping this bill, which a lot of activists are described as very draconian, and the bill contains provisions that would actually scare anyone in this time of the war, this season. Anybody that sees that bill, some sections of the bill, giving the NCDC, that's the National Center for Disease Control, the power to confiscate properties to be used as isolation centers, to arrest people in public for showing any symptom at all, maybe just coughing, you'll be arrested for having an infectious disease. So this have generated a lot of outcry, and we are joined by a legal practitioner who will be talking again about this bill and why it shouldn't see the light of day. Take a listen.
The Control of Infectious Diseases Bill is a bill that was recently introduced into the House of Representatives by the Speaker of the House, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila. The bill has as one of its objectives the repeal of the Quarantine Act, which the sponsor of the bill has stated that is inadequate to cater to the needs of Nigerians when it comes to infectious diseases and outbreaks. A lot of criticisms have been leveled against the bill. The major criticism has been that the bill is just a rehash or a copy of a law in Singapore that was enacted in the year 1977, which was the Control of Infectious Diseases Law, when Singapore was a monoparty state under its late leader, Lee Kuan Yew. So basically, that is the background to the bill. It's a bill that has been introduced to give the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, more powers and more control over the management of infectious diseases, and also the management of persons suspected to have been infected by these same infectious diseases. The first thing I want to state about the bill is that I actually commend the foresight behind someone coming out to say that the present Quarantine Act is inadequate and cannot cater cater or protect Nigerians. So it is indeed commendable that somebody has come out to present this bill, which I personally believe is long overdue. Now, let us come to the contents of the bill. What does the bill say generally? Generally, the bill has some provisions that we'll say are standard provisions, provisions that only seek to positively empower the NCDC in the carrying out of its functions. But interspersed throughout this bill are provisions that have led to a lot of trepidation, led to fears among Nigerians that the bill will, in essence, only empower the Director General of the Nigerian Center for Disease Control to be like an unelected dictator. What the people are saying, basically, is that the bill is going to give powers to the DG of the NCDC, the kind of powers that have not been seen in Nigeria before, powers that, in essence, would invade or intrude into the privacy and sanctity of Nigerians.
Well, just like all the legal practitioners and activists have been saying, that bill, the Infectious Diseases Bill, is riddled with provisions that shouldn't see the light of day. And legal practitioners, as well as members of civil society organizations, public affairs analysts, and the like, are saying no to the passage of that bill. And thank God, due to the outcry of these people and your voice as well, we are hearing that there's going to be a public hearing. There's going to be a public hearing to that bill on the 11th and 12th of June. And we want you to lend your voice so that that bill will not see the light of day. We'll go on a quick break now. We'll be right back.
It's 3,653 days snowballed into 10 years of victories, 10 years of impact, 10 years of beauty, 10 years of excellence, and 10 years of successes. Thank you, our dear esteemed partners. You made the years worth its while. For your unflinching support, your seeds of love, for standing with us through and through. Thank you. It's our festival of thighs.
Are you interested to know the importance of your words? How to activate the creative power in your words? How to say the right thing at the right time? Find out in this insightful masterpiece by Pastor Chris. Discover the principle of creation and recreation.
If you're going to live the true life that God has given to you, you must line up with the Word of God. This is where the ministry of the Spirit of God is indispensable, because it's the Spirit that actually knows the codes. Hear this. You can't just prophesy. You're going to prophesy as He commands you. You need the code. God, I need the sound code. I need the sound code. Hallelujah. I need the sound code. Once you have the sound code and you get it, creation will respond to you. Glory to God.
Tap into the wealth of divine principles and live in the future of your dreams as you learn the workable principle of sound code and the Spirit. This message is now available on DVD in a 2 volumes and 4-part series. To place your order, kindly call the following numbers now showing on the screen, or you can visit www.christembassy.onlinestore.org or download through the Pastor Chris Digital Library app, available on Google Play Store and Apple iStore. You will be glad you did.
welcome back. Recently, I had the opportunity of attending an event that civil society organizations came together saying no to the passage of that bill. They actually cried out to say this bill has provisions that will not be allowed to stand in a democratic setting. And if we as citizens, we have a role to play in making our nation great, we have the role to say no to the passage of that bill. And during that event, you hear legal practitioners and members of different civil organizations coming to say no to the passage of that bill. Take a listen.
In the last 4 weeks, the media space has been awash with the controversy surrounding a bill currently undergoing legislation by the National Assembly. The new bill is titled Control of Infectious Diseases 2020, a bill for an act to repeal the Quarantine Act and enact the Control of Infectious Diseases Act.
So what we are saying is that at that public hearing, they should give an opportunity to express their views on the bill. And if they are given that opportunity, the members of the National Assembly will see that various provisions of the bill are draconian sections. They are sections that violate our fundamental human rights. How can you say that somebody's house could be declared as an isolation center just like that without paying the person compensation? That is against natural law. You cannot do that.
Every part of the bill is troubling, not just to me, to Nigerians. So I want to believe that because of the broad consensus that Nigerians have with regards to this bill, that this is something that what we are doing is in tandem with the thinking of Nigerians. Virtually every section is bad. It's irredeemably bad, and it's not something that can be managed under any circumstances. You know, whether it is about the powers, the very overreaching powers given to the DG of NCDC, who himself says that it's not aware, he was not consulted, and does not think that this is the time for this kind of bill, to the powers being given to the police, who without having these extra powers have been killing Nigerians extrajudicially during this COVID-19 breakout, and then you want to give them more powers again at this time, to the issue of seizure of houses, in the case of infection, forgetting the fact that where we are today, especially in the age that we are today, you can easily disinfect buildings that are suspected of having without demolition, and so many other things. So there is no compromise that can be done with this bill.
Well, you heard them. No, no, no. We are saying no to the passage of the Infectious Diseases Bill, and that is why we are taking a look at this topic again. And we had some videos sent to us by parents in Nigeria during their stay home, the activities they embarked on, and how they were able to cope with children during the lockdown period. We want you to see this, and also would like you to send your videos to us after now.
Online classes has really not been easy. For instance, I've been here with my kids. Those some have finished studying, they've gone, but this one is still having his own studies. We've been here for almost 5 hours now. It's not been easy at all, but I think this is the best option that we can get for this period of coronavirus pandemic. It's the best option that can still keep the children in line with their education, for them not to play and wander far from what they have studied so far. I think is the best. For school resuming now, or for school resuming on the 8th of June, I don't think it's a good idea, because necessary measures have not been put in place for resumption. And are we even sure that in the school environment we are going to have enough soap and water to wash our hands to avoid the spread of coronavirus?
I'm a parent and also an instructor. As a parent and an instructor, the stay at home has really been with mixed feelings, in the sense that at the beginning of it all, we were all happy, because it gave room for us to have this close relationship with our children, especially people like us whose children are in the boarding schools. So it actually gave us room for us to have this close relationship, especially with the girls, know what they are going through and all that.
My stay-at-home experience with them has been one of of discovery, because I've discovered a lot of things about my kids that I didn't know before because of the time that we get to spend after school together. But spending the whole day together, I've discovered a lot of things about them and a lot of things that I needed to correct as well that we've corrected, and then a lot of things that they've learned as well. They are learning household chores more than before and everything. Then the schooling at home experience has been challenging a bit with the internet, and the internet has been the major challenge for the homeschooling thing. Apart from that, it's been smooth sailing so far. Having the children coming back to school for now is with trepidation for me, because there are no safety measures that have been put in place that I can see it and I'm comfortable with allowing my kids to go back to school. But if the safety measures are in place, why not? The children can easily go back to school, which will be a little bit of ease for me. Without the safety measures, I don't think children should go back to school for now.
Staying at home has affected my business. It has also affected my children's school. They can't go to school again. They don't have that freedom to go to school. But the online schooling is a welcome idea, in the sense that it's making the children to learn while staying at home. But going back to school in this time of pandemic is a no-no for me, in the sense that the children cannot adhere to the directive given to us by the World Health Organization or even NCDC.
Well, quite interesting. Parents became teachers during the lockdown, but it also gave parents the opportunity to bond better with their kids. But that's much we can take this week on you.gov. We would like you to send your videos to us, how you've spent your lockdown period. It's even sounding like an essay on how you spent your lockdown. But we want to hear from you. We are saying it's our stay-home diaries. It's what we're going to be doing from time to time. And remember, we are saying no to the Infectious Diseases Bill. We are saying that bill should not see the light of day. And like a lot of respondents said, the bill is so bad that it cannot be repaired. So the bill should be totally expunged. It should be totally removed from our body of laws. It shouldn't be given any opportunity at all. And like I told you earlier, you can join our conversation by using our hashtag #YouGov, #LoverPlus, and you can also download our app to get information from us on the go. But just before we go, we have some more tidbits for you. Well, that's much we can take this week on you.gov. It was indeed very interesting. We got reactions from lawyers and members of civil society organizations saying no to the passage of the Infectious Diseases Bill. We also got some experiences, some clips from parents at home sharing their experiences with their children during the lockdown period. We would like you to get information across to us. We would also like you to give us updates and reviews. So we'd like you to log on to our website on www.loverplus.tv. You can also send email to us at info@loverplus.org, and you can send comments to the number that will be showing on your screen now. I'm Olomu-Agbodo. God bless you and God bless Nigeria.
Every single life matters.
The primary responsibility of government, first of all, which is security.
We bank mostly on intervention rather than prevention.
Democracy is a government where power resides with the people.